PFF TV, Solomon Wilcots, Steve Palazzolo. We're here to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what's going on, Steve, with this Bucs defensive line. Gerald McCoy is 30 years old, six-time Pro Bowler, and there's talk that that $13 million salary cap hit may see him moving on. And I have to ask, if Jason Pierre-Paul, who just suffered a fractured vertebrae in a one-car accident, if he's not going to be suiting up for you in 2019, should you be getting rid of Gerald McCoy?
I mean, whether or not JPP's there, I don't know if you should be getting rid of McCoy because the PFF narrative over the last few years, when we're looking at the Bucs and how they're building their team, it's been, all right, find some help for Gerald McCoy. You know, they drafted Noah Spence a couple years ago. They bring in JPP. We've seen them make moves up front, but Gerald McCoy has been that consistent piece, that three technique that, you know, penetrates, can get into the backfield. So I think any team can use Gerald McCoy, including the Bucs, whether JPP is healthy or not this season.
Yeah, and I know they're looking at the cap number. But I see Gerald McCoy as a guy that, as you mentioned, can get inside penetration, good run stopper. But he's the guy that helped Jason Pierre-Paul to lead that team with 12.5 sacks 1 year ago. When JPP is getting single blocking, he can be dominant. I have not seen him be dominant when he's getting double teamed. And the reason why he wasn't getting double teamed last year is Gerald McCoy.
Yo, it's absolutely McCoy, and then you add Vita Vea to the mix too, the big monstrous nose tackle who's heading into his second year. And look, the defensive line's been a big weakness for the Bucs outside of McCoy for a while, and it just looked like they're starting to put it together. Let Noah Spence become more of a complementary piece. Add in Carl Nassib. Those guys are complementary pieces, but McCoy, he's the big guy in the middle. You expect a little more development out of Vita Vea, and then JPP, when he is healthy, as you mentioned, you know, gets to benefit from that.
And he won't be healthy in 2019. Let's face it. It's being predicted that he's expected to possibly, and only possibly, return late November, early November. They're not going to do any kind of surgery, see if it heals on its own. That means, as you mentioned, Carl Nassib, William Golston, guys like that are going to, Noah Spence, are going to have to be productive. But if you get rid of Gerald McCoy, where does the production come on the inside of the line? We know they're going to be struggling to get production on the edges.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, that's not the best group of edge defenders in the NFL, not even close. Anthony Nelson, the fourth-round pick out of Iowa, I think he has a chance to play some time. He's similar to JPP as far as you trust him against the run, and he's got some power, but he's a rookie. He's a fourth-round rookie out of Iowa, so it already looks like one of the worst edge defender situations in the NFL. You lose JPP, it gets even worse, and if you did trade Gerald McCoy, unless there's a return piece to replace, it ends up being one of the worst defensive lines.
So when you say return piece, we know they need help on the defensive line. They're going to be without JPP. How do you get rid of a Gerald McCoy and still make yourself better? Talk to me about his overall value and how can you replace that value if he's not there?
Yeah, it's tough to replace because you don't find too many interior rushers. I mean, he's not Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is in his own in his own
another category.
Yeah,
right?
He's in his own level. But since Ndamukong Suh came in with McCoy, remember there was a big debate. Ndamukong Suh
2 and number 3 overall. Right?
Exactly. There was a debate about both of those guys. Some people actually liked McCoy better. There are certain seasons where he has been more productive than Ndamukong Suh. So his ability at his best to penetrate and defend against the run, disrupt the run, and get into the backfield. He's a top 5 to 10 interior pass rusher in the NFL, and it's tough to lose that piece.
So the Bucs have a dilemma on that defensive line with JPP and that injury. Clearly, that leaves a gaping hole on the defensive line. Don't make it worse by getting rid of Gerald McCoy. Maybe you swallow the $13 million in salary cap and continue to play good ball with Gerald McCoy. He's Steve Palazzolo. I'm Solomon Wilcots for PFF TV.